Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going good for you. I am enjoying a nice little afternoon with a gorgeous blue sunshiny day, but it's ice cold. I don't know if you guys are Celsius or Fahrenheit. Lots of you are probably American, but we're dealing with minus 14 Celsius right now, which I don't even know what that would be Fahrenheit wise. I think that's, well, let's figure it out. Minus 14 Cel to Fahrenheit. So we're at 57. No, that's 14 degrees. That's not right. Minus is the problem. There you go, 6.8 Fahrenheit. I don't know if you guys think that's cold, but I think it's freezing. I am hiding inside with a heavy sweater and a heated office. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having fun today. Hope you're enjoying crypto nut markets. Things are looking juicy. Bitcoin pushed up after the ETF and then fell back down. 45 to then 47.5. Question was it going to punch through to 48? And at least not yet. I've expressed in a video recently, I'm not particularly excited about where Bitcoin is at from a financial gains perspective. Not to say I doubt it, not to say I don't think it's awesome, not even to say that I don't want some, but just even from a percentage perspective, ETFs are great. I do like the potential for future adoption. Even looking forward to the halving. There's lots of reason to want Bitcoin, but I think if somebody's coming to the story today and they're falling for, really what is like, hype around, hey, this new event is going to change the game. It's going to cause institutional adoption. I think that's they're missing part of the story, right? It's like the fuller picture. Yes, it is. But, within the next 3 to 6 months, is Bitcoin going to go from 46,000 to 400,000? That's like a 10x, not even a 10x. Could you see? I think most or all agreed the answer is no. It's not going to do that. Even though there's going to be more institutional adoption, even though these ETFs passed, even though you probably will start seeing, major money like pension funds start finding a portion of this for their funds. But all that said, long term, yes. Short term, we've already seen it priced in. The number has gone from 18,000 a year ago to 46,000 today. And if we're talking percentage gains, you're not seeing a 10x here anytime soon. Whereas I think many of you will agree, the altcoin market has opportunities for that. Even today, I think the people who are true investors and who look past the moment are seeing this, are creating and realizing this. 7% on ETH, 6% on XRP, 11% on BAT. These are some of the ones I follow, but there's a lot of green candles in the altcoin market. And people say if Bitcoin falls, well, the alts will fall too. Yeah, usually, except for when it's just altcoin season. And then you see dominance of Bitcoin fall and you see altcoins, do well. Is that the moment we're entering? I'm inclined to say so. I think the opportunities for short-term realization within Bitcoin and maybe even within the Ethereum have mostly gone behind us for now. Long-term, I'm about it. But I am in the coming weeks, I'm going to be far more interested in some of the major altcoins than I am going to be in Bitcoin. And I think that means that speaks to SPS, that speaks to Splinterlands. And I do think that means money trickling down out of some of the bigger coffers and some of the big investments, whether that's Bitcoin, whether that's Ethereum, whether that's Bitcoin's gone up 3 times its value this year almost. That's enormous. That's amazing. If you enjoyed that, good for you. But now I think the picture turns to the alts, and I think we know that. I think most people know that. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm feeling. Nice. Oh, I love it. McNap Pat 31 has fled from your overwhelming might. You are one step closer to victory. I am really enjoying the tournaments. Let's do a little hard transition here with that little prompt or reminder. I'm enjoying tournaments. I'm tracking my gains. It's not been earth-shattering by any means, but that right there was the finish of another tournament, and they said 40 SPS was the prize on that one. I think that was a 40 SPS cost. I'm pretty sure that was Golzar. Is that right? Let's see the name. Goleth Zolmar, a modern diamond beginning training Splinterlands tournament. It was a 40 SPS payout, and I believe I can confirm for myself and for you that was a 8 SPS cost to participate in that tournament. Let's pull it up just quickly. That was 32 SPS that I got for having fun with this game that I like, right? That's the thing. It's not just, hey, 32 is relatively, nothing, 90 cents. Who cares, right? 33 cents per SPS, 30 free SPS. Who cares, maybe you might say. Well, I'm having fun with this. And I think that's the key here. We always got to tie the two. Is this game fun and rewarding? Yes. And you might say the trivial rewards are inconsequential, but I say to you, across what time horizon? Is it meaningful that you receive 90 cents today? For most of the North American audience, for the Americans, for the Canadians, for the first world people, probably not. But I'm glad I got it, for one thing. So it's not going to change my life in the short term, but I'm really appreciative for the opportunity. I love being able to stack those for free just through my time and attention. But then also, it's not just about the first world people. It's also about the broader audience that we might want to appeal to. I just got 90 cents for playing a game. And that's in addition to all the other gains I have opportunity to access: chests, daily rewards, merits through guild brawls, and so on. And not to mention the staking, because the staking rewards possible through your SPS bag. So it's just all of these little trivial rewards. And if you're not new here, my view on this. It's like these things add up. It's trivial in nature until it's not, right? It adds up, and then it becomes consequential after that time, after you've accumulated the bag and the price goes up. Is an SPS worth 3 cents or is it worth 50 cents? I think it depends when you ask me. Today it's worth 3 cents, but I'm going to hold that SPS until such time that it's a bigger number. And so really it's this retroactive raise that's possible. Where was that completed one? This one right here was right here. 8 SPS cost, finished 53rd overall. Oh, Rooney won that one. He's a time and attention guy and a friend of the channel. Good for you, buddy. I'll see what you got there. So I got 40 SPS, a 13-8 record. Look at there, Rooney 18-2. What a beast. 80 SPS for an 8 SPS input. And like him, like me, he's absolutely, having fun with the process, which makes it twice easy, right? It's fun to earn crypto. It's and I'm sure most of us who believe in Splinterlands, who believe in cryptocurrency, would like to have opportunities to earn more of it, to have access to more of it. Well, this is one of those ways. But then also you also like entertainment. You also like games. I assume you like Splinterlands. You're hanging out with me today. Thank you. So make the most of it. That's what I'm saying these days, especially these days. Like I started really focusing in on the tourneys, and I'm now, since January 1, I have earned 559 SPS, and there was 219 SPS that I had to put out to do that. So that's a profit of, I don't have a precise number for you, but I think it's roughly 340 SPS profit in 11 days. 340 SPS for free that I've accumulated. And there's some losses in there because I was trying to do this with my second account and it's not fully equipped. So it was just getting smacked around, and that wasn't working. But if I focus in on my Infidel account, I'm confident we're gonna stay positive, we're gonna profit, and it'll be fun and rewarding. So I'm gonna check in with the chat, see how you guys doing. Paul, good to see you. JPH, appreciate you, pal. Vilson, thanks for stopping by, guys. Appreciate you hanging out today. Jason, what do you got to say here? Let me read this. Jason, does anyone know if they're going to cancel SPS earnings on land soon? I heard some rumor but haven't been checking Discords or town halls. And then Paul responded saying it would require a proposal to pass for that to happen. And then also that Matt did mention that for 2.0, but that's months away. So let's unpack that question a little deeper for Jason and for anybody who might watch this video. Is SPS going to be canceled for the earning potential from land? And if so, when would that happen? Well, we do know, as Paul alluded to, that Matt has said that is something he would like to do. I can't pull up a clip for you right in this very moment. Maybe if I clip this portion of this conversation later, I'll try to splice in Matt saying that. But I know for a fact he did say that. He said it even more than once. He said, by the time we get to land 2.0, we will probably have too many resources available within the plots of land that you can farm. Too many meaningful ways to earn, too many things that will call your attention, too many reasons, too many things to choose from. And so as a result, it might make sense in that moment to remove SPS from land. That was almost exactly what he said. And again, I'll clip it and splice it in here later if I can, because I do think this is something more people need to know, especially as you're preparing with land, you're buying plots, you're trying to think through like long-term trajectory and maybe, you know, trying to build a bag, trying to find a way to accumulate SPS, and you're thinking land. Land is an interesting way, but I want to highlight both Aftersound as well as myself recently. We've both done content talking about how SPS, if SPS is your concern, if you want more of it, it probably does make sense to just buy SPS. At these price points, SPS at 3 cents, 2.8 cents today. 2.8 cents today. I mean, if you took $100 to activate a plot of land, and that's one of the cheaper plots of land, and that's with relatively cheap monsters, and that's the DEC required, plus you need a power source, etc., you're going to spend about $100. Or you can come in here and you're going to earn maybe with one plot of land for one day, you're going to earn like maybe 30 SPS. It's probably closer to 20. Now, hang on a second. Yeah, it's closer to 20. So you're getting 20 a day, let's say, maybe even 10, maybe 30, depending on the cards. But the better the cards, the more you have to pay to start that plot of land. But let's say you're getting 20 SPS a day from that single plot of land, the cheapest common you can find, and you activate it. And somehow you can figure out your grain too, by the way. That's another thing. You need to have another plot of land that's going to cost $100 to operate the grain to make yourself sustainable. But let's say you've already got that figured out somehow. Maybe you've already got other plots of land. You just want to bring on one more plot of land to your existing ecosystem that is already self-sustaining, and you've got the card, so that's no big deal, etc. You've even got the DEC, fine. It's still $100 opportunity cost, because you got to set aside value to activate that property. Even if you already own the cards, those are cards you could use in other ways, and now you're using them on land. So all those point to $100 cost to access 20 SPS a day. Or you could come in here with $100 and buy a lot of SPS. $100 divided by 0. Even say 3 cents, right? 3,000 SPS right now. If you divide 3,300 by 20, it's going to take you 166 days to create that same revenue stream, to build that sort of SPS bag by operating one plot of land. And again, the plot of land, even if you already have a plot of land, as I do, by the way, I have 3 more plots of land that I could activate right now, because I've got the cards. I don't have the DEC, but I can figure that out. Let's pull that up, by the way. Let's go over to Baron's Toolbox. Shout out to Baron. Shout out to, Axler Twinblade. Appreciate you for doing this, pal. This is a good site. Beautiful way to look at your land. If you can afford to send the guy a tip, he does a lot for our community, including streaming himself. So check out his channel. I think it's called NFO Guides on YouTube. So these are my plots of land. These are the ones that are building SPS 3, 6, 7. I do have 2 more that are not currently active. Show me lands building on it. Show me land plots that have a building in a box. Okay, I want to pull up ones that don't have anything on it yet. I think there's a way to see that. Yeah, right here. See, look, it has nothing on it. It has no cards on it. It has no building on it. It has nothing on it. It does have a building in a box. That's cool. I didn't actually know that I had that. But here's the deal. It still costs money to set it up, even though I already have the plot. Even if, just activating the existing plot, 5,000 for an energy, I forget what it's called, a power source, 5,000 DC, that's $5. And then I have to put in, $40 to $100 worth of cards that I already own. But sure, I already own them, yes, but they're an allocation that would go somewhere else. Maybe that's going to be some gold foils that will help me in some of these tournaments I'm participating in. Even though they're lower end cards, because they're not max gold foils, or they're not max amazing cards. They might be cards that I find key in some part of this game, maybe a tournament or a guild brawl. Because remember, in different tournaments, you're going to be called to play at Diamond, Champion, Bronze, Silver, Gold. And so there are cards that I might not regularly use that would be valuable to me in other respects. It's an opportunity cost to activate a plot of land. And so if your sole concern is SPS, it's like maybe just buy it. And so yeah, just to wrap it back to the comment, the question, they are planning to remove it from land. Matt was quite clear about it. It's not exactly, it hasn't been stated when that would be, but Paul's right. He said it would be when land 2.0 launches, when you expect to see those, I think 50 other resources coming to Splinterlands land. Because at that point, there'll be too many things to earn through, and it just might make sense to pull it back from that moment or from that component of the game. And like I just said, if that's your sole concern, there's probably other ways to approach that anyways. Thanks for the comment, Jason. And thanks for the clarifications from you, Paul. William, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Okay, guys, so there's a few things I was thinking about talking about before I jumped on here. I'm absolutely open to just like a meandering conversation. If you guys got questions, if you want to talk about anything in particular, let's get into it. But I've got some notes and some thoughts. One thing I want to talk more on and think through more is rebellion cards, rebellion prices. What makes sense to sort of chase after now and maybe to be patient on. I do believe that rebellion cards are going to be coming down in value for the most part because there'll be more and more packs opened. But it's not as simple as more packs are going to be sold and therefore opened and tomorrow or over the next 9 months or 10 months or the duration of rebellion. Therefore, the price will necessarily come down. Supply and demand is not that simple. There's the supply side. Yes, more rebellion packs will be sold. Yes, more will be opened. That means more of each card will reach to the marketplace. And already this has begun to happen. As you look at rebellion prices, you've seen it through the rental market probably. If you haven't, I have. Looking at the rental market and looking at rebellion specifically, on the first day there was almost no rebellion cards available. Now this screen is full of them. And then the price points were, astronomical. And even for like one BCX, for like any card, it was like 100 BCX DEC to borrow it. Now the screen is full, 200 copies, 100 copies. These are low level BCX ones, level ones. But for some people, that's all you need. If you're playing in bronze, it's kind of cool that you can rent some of these cards at the lowest level to just give it a shot. And I am actually playing in bronze now. I've got a third account and it's one of my older accounts and I'm just reactivating it because like I said earlier, I'm interested in, getting the most out of the game right now. That's why I'm playing tournaments. That's why I'm, taking some time out this afternoon to do a live stream because I want to talk about the game. And I'm excited right now. I'm really excited about where we're at. Blockchain, in the moment of blockchain, but also within Splinterlands. And so it's cool that these are available for the lowest levels because they will be fun. They will change how you play the game. They will create a new sense of entertainment for you if you've been here for a while because it's fresh cards, new synergies, interactions that you've not seen before, ways to win and ways to think through not just how to win the game, but then the game within the game of hey, I noticed X, Y, and Z cards work beautifully together, and it actually allows me to win a disproportionate number of my battles. So how would that change the game within the game of how I invest? Because again, it's not just Splinterlands is absolutely an auto brawler where you submit your team and then the game happens. But is that all it is? Like you come in here and you pick these monsters and then you win or you lose. Yeah, that's like the coach experience. But there's the general manager who built that team. That's you, of course, but you have to formulate the best approach to creating that team. It's like the general manager builds the team, the coach deploys the team, and there's even above that, there's like above the general manager, there's like this team owner, or you think of it as like the like the owner of the team who not only funds the operations, but finds ways to think through the profitability of the operation so that you can continue to find new tools to win them, so the coach can be stronger. And so it's this multi-level experience, and some people don't always get that. And so I like to make that point more than once. I feel like right now, Rebellion is absolutely giving us some of those opportunities. Like some of these cards at the lowest levels to the highest levels are actually becoming affordable, at least from the rental market. Even a Diamond Champion, I am renting some of these Rebellion cards now. This is a low level bronze gold foil tournament battle. So you're not going to see the high level ones that I'm borrowing right now, but I am borrowing some. I'll show you some actually. Going to I'll let you see what I'm renting right now. So if we come in here and we go to Rebellion. Okay, so some of these I own. How can I do this? Or rent? Not rented. Rented to me. Here we go. So I'm renting what you see on the screen here. So these were about 40 or 50 DEC, both of these. And I think they're quite fun and juicy. I mean, this has got the lookout ability, which I really, really find quite strong in a lot of different contexts. Whether it's a sneak defense or whether it's like a in context and support of a taunt monster, because you can put your taunt monster in in whatever spot you want, whether it's a first position tank with the taunt, and you slip this in the second spot, and then you're gonna attract all the sneaks and all the opportunities and all the snipes, and then you're gonna bring that damage down, which is so good. Yeah, 40-50 DEC, I forget exactly what. So it's a strong monster, plus it's got the life leech, which does add up for sure. And then Barash Kukor, you gotta like that, the big 5 bomb. At the same time, it's a lot of mana for, relatively susceptible. If this thing gets this big 5 bomb thrown back at it with an amp and a magic reflect, I think you're in trouble. And this is 13 mana, and this thing can't go down. Like if this thing goes down, this is a big mana cost, unless you're doing a 99, right? So I'm not sure how sort of, I don't know how important, valuable, impactful some of these cards will be. I'm still exploring that, but that's my point. You can explore that now with the rental market in a way that you couldn't 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's starting to become affordable, and I think it's beginning to become more and more affordable, not just from rentals, but yes, within rentals. You can test them out. I recently opened 33 packs of Rebellion, and I got I don't know how to say this, Croyer. I don't know how to say that at all. But I got this card in gold foil version, and I found how absolutely impactful it is at the lower levels. And so if you're playing, and there's gonna always, with every card, this, within Splinterlands, it's like some cards will have a huge impact, maybe a disproportionate power at the lowest levels, and then some will have, be more impactful at the highest levels. I would say flank, and specifically this card, is, if you're playing bronze silver, is just like must have. It's just, first of all, it's got a good amount of hit points, and second of all, that flank capacity, the weapon trainer is great, but at the lowest levels, this one only has 1 damage, so you're not really gonna get a huge weapon training bonus. But what you do get is a pretty decent meat shield, even at the lowest levels, and then it's got the flank capacity even at the lowest levels, which means that you can put somebody who's really powerful in the second spot. You know who I'm doing right now, especially in some of the tournaments I've just been running wild on. Maybe that one I just got, 30 or 40th or position or whatever. I use the flank, this green monster in the first, and then I slip in the second, the Grund with the double striking melee damage, because I have gold foil low level of both of them. And so that is absolutely setting me apart. Again, that's a low level play, a bronze, a silver play, but it exists. And maybe this card too, it has 5 damage even at the lowest levels. Now the mana would be too much probably, because most bronze battles are, but you see, I don't know how best to use these, and so I'm absolutely seeking opportunities to test them out. And the rental market's giving me that, because ultimately I want to own them. I want to find the most impactful ones, and I want to buy them. That's what I'm trying to do. And so in the path, in order to accomplish that goal, I'm trying to test them out. I'm also watching different content from, Aftersound and Bulldog, and who else I've been watching lately. I feel like there's been lots of different people I've been watching, and I'll do my best, just to learn from, all that are involved, so that I can figure out where I want to spend my money, because just like with you, my resources are limited, and I want to spend my money in the most impactful way. And I do think absolutely some of these cards are going to be that. Mantaroth is a beast, you know that. Also Grimbard and Smith's amazing, but those costs, and I'm not even saying it's not worth more. Mantaroth might be worth more than $50 a BCX, and Grimbard and Smith might be worth more than $5 a BCX, which is where they're at now. It's not about whether it's worth more. It's about it's not even about if it's a good deal today. In the sense of, would I feel that the price is okay? It's not just that. It's bigger than that. It's like, if I had $550 to buy a max level Mantaroth, I have $550 to spend. That can go a long way on other resources, and maybe the combination of other resources can bring you a further distance within the sort of the capacity of what you're doing here in Splinterlands. Same with Grimbard and Smith. Now that's the gold foil, but the gold foil, I was looking this morning, there's a max copy here for 857. And to get a max copy of the regular foil, you're looking at, I mean, probably, look at this. Okay, there's 827 copies at this level. Wow. I assume that's one person. I don't really know. Like, could that be one? That's not one person, is it? But either way, you can get a max copy for that, right? So if we go bulk buy and we go 115, you're talking 530. So 530 for a regular foil or 830 for a gold foil, I think it was. Amazing card, super expensive though. If you have 550 for this rare card, again, how could you use that wisely? And what would you do? You could buy 15,000 SPS. We talked earlier about how $100 will get you 3,000 SPS. Times by 5. Or do you want a Grimbard and Smith? Is a Grimbard and Smith worth 15,000 SPS to you? That's the way we have to think about these things, because that's the game within the game. It's not just how do I win, it's how do I do the most for the least sort of cost, and be the most efficient I can with everything, my investment, my play style, how often I win, all of it. It's an efficiency thing, and it takes a lot of attention and precision, and I love that. That's why this game is way more satisfying and has this long-term sustainability that many people don't fully understand. Those who look at it from a auto brawler game only are missing this other bigger component of the game that is at least as important, maybe more, and deeply satisfying to I guess play around with. At least that's my feel on it, and I suspect many of you agree with me on that. Wilson, SPS assistant to the regional manager. I love the office reference. Assistant. My name is Dwight Schrute. I am assistant to the regional manager. Mike goes assistant to the regional manager. I love that, Joe, man. Me and the wife watch it over and over and over again. We haven't watched it recently, but we do watch it. We watch it very, very often. I'm hearing my nurse call me, guys. My daughter might need me. Just 1 minute. Sorry about that. I have a nurse with my daughter. She's at home sick today, and they wanted to ask where her lunch was. So I just had to get her set up. Eli, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you popping by. Pardon me, I got to clear my throat. I need to get a mute button for that. Sorry about if that hurt the ears at all. Okay. There's a lot more than I wanted to say, but I kind of lost my train of thought there. SPS, Rebellion. There's so much more I want to say about Rebellion. I do really think Flank is really interesting. Maybe I can show a couple battles. And I think especially at the lower levels. Now, it's also awesome at the highest levels. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying at the lower levels, you're going to find that people don't even know what's going on. Because they don't have it yet themselves. Let's watch. I did try it right here, but I lost it. I know it's worked for me several times. Actually, you know, I could pull up the data from Splinter Coach, but let's watch this one. This is a loss. And I want to see what goes wrong here. But see, I'm on the front got my flank, and I'm dropping the grunt in the second spot. Hoping to really give space with this guy here for the grunt to stay alive longer. He's doing the opposite. He's putting his grunt right up in front, and we both dropped the Katrelba Gobson. His is gonna proc faster and harder, I guess. I bet Buddy dodges me, and I bet that's how he beats me here. Let's find out. See, my Katrelba could kill his Venaria on the first round, and if we did, we're gonna... How is he gonna beat me here? How is he gonna beat this? Yes, he's gonna get 1-2 kills the next round, but oh, that's all it is, really. See, I got 2 kills, but he's gonna get 1-2 kills right here. I'm gonna get Martyr, but it's not enough. How is this not gonna work? I'm still, as I look at this, how is this not going to work for me? He's going to go first, isn't he? Oh, they gave him the first shot. That's all it was. That's all it was. Because we were even Steven speed-wise. It just was luck of the draw on who went first. And of course, after that, the control pulls it out. But you see my play. I want to hit replay again because whose Grund went down first? And Grund is a big part of the play. So it really came down. I lost due to luck. He got lucky with respect to firing first. We're both level 3. He's got a level 3 Katrelba. I got a level 3 Katrelba. They're both the exact same speed. We have the same summon. There's no blindness or anything. No slower swiftness. So he got lucky, and that's how he won. But notice his Grund is about to die in round 2, and mine's still full, even with a tank heal. So this is what I'm saying. Flank creates space for some of your most dangerous monsters. And yes, I know I didn't win this, but as we point out, it's not because the Grund play failed. It's because of something else. And so, see, 5 speed. If we got first fire right now, we win. But instead, we don't. And he defeats us. Okay. So yeah, I think I'm seeing, and I'm trying to see how these cards are going to reach the sort of the commonplace usage. And I'm seeing some of the videos on YouTube, and I'm learning from some of the guys. But absolutely, there's more to observe. And if we can recognize it before others, there might be ways and paths to get some of these cards for a really reasonable price. That's my hope anyways, because I do think some of these cards are yet to be fully incorporated into our rhythm. And if we aren't yet seeing them be fully incorporated, then my next question is, are we properly pricing them? If a card is amazing and impacts the meta, but we don't yet see that impact, then maybe the price hasn't changed yet, and there's an opportunity to buy it still at a relatively low price point. 18 viewers, guys, 19 likes. Drop the like if you're enjoying the content, if you appreciate what we do, and if you want to see more people hear about Splinterlands, go ahead and drop the like. Thank you so much for hanging out here today, guys. Okay. Let me pull up the Rebellions. This is another card I've seen recently that I don't know if it's, again, I'm not saying any of these cards are the right price. I'm not saying they're a good price. I'm saying I'm looking at them and thinking through. Feels like 5-6 cents for a common is probably higher than I'm going to want to pay. And these cards, every pack is going to have 4 commons for the most part. So there should be more and more of these commons coming to the marketplace. Plus, it looks like most people think the Endless Ape is relatively, unimpressive. That's why it's one of the lower cards on the market here. But I have been defeated by it recently. The Scavenger is a big deal, man. Maybe even more so at the lowest levels. Now, it's powerful at every level. And you've seen cards like Dr. Blight that have scavenge. They start with 3 or 4 hit points, and by the end of the game, they have 10 or 12. And this is the same thing. If you put a 10 hit point scavenger, this thing might have 20 hit points by the time it finds its way to the front in certain rule sets. I love scavenger. I find it super powerful. It is one of those ways to out survive poison or flight damage, even when there's no heal available, even when heal's been canceled because of rule set. And so I think the Endless Ape is probably worth my attention. Now, again, that doesn't mean I'm buying it for 6 cents. It just means, again, I'm in this assessment phase. I'd love to see in the chat what you guys are looking at, which cards are really grabbing your attention. You know, I know the main ones, but is there a sleeper one here that you're seeing? I'd love to see a chat on that, and I'd love to analyze those cards in particular, because I'm in the assessment phase and I want to figure it out, and maybe we figure it out faster together. I think this is one of the places that we gotta, if you're into Splinterlands, you gotta be most attentive right now. There's opportunity right now that won't exist in 6 months. Again, that's not about price. The prices of these cards can go down in 6 months because there could be more and more supply. But if the certain key cards are going to end up being that Grim Barden Smith type impact, and everyone seems to love that card, say it's absolutely overpowered, it fits in so many circumstances, wins, especially with Weapons Trainer now. That card went from $1 to $5 a BCX, and you need 115 of them to get a max copy. That's a very crazy multiplier in the last 4 weeks. What could the next 4 weeks bring? Is there a card right in front of you on the screen right now that is showing maybe the promise or the capacity to have that sort of similar impact? There might be. In fact, I bet there is. And I'm not seeing it, and maybe you're not. But then when someone does, the price can take off. And I'm saying if we get there first, we get the cheaper card. Maybe we benefit financially. We definitely benefit from a win perspective. And that's why. That's why now is the time. Office is awesome. I got a friend when I get to his house, we put it on. It's probably, is it maybe the best comedy show of all time? I love Seinfeld. That's an amazing show. I still watch Seinfeld. Office cracks me up more in certain episodes and contexts. It's at least one of my favorites. I also like 30 Rock. That was a classic. That was a bit zany at times. I don't know if you guys watched it, but it's a good show. And what else? Parks and Rec. Amazing. Lots of amazing comedies. So I'm not saying, you know, Office stands alone and there's no competitors for that conversation, but man, it is absolutely one of the best of the best. What about these summoners? That's one of the questions in my mind. Is it worth it to start pulling out these tactic summoners? Now, for 60 cents a BCX, it's actually, okay, 60 is the high bid. The low buy is actually 76, not 60. I don't know what's going on there. Little delay on the data or something. But is this 115 BCX worth 80 bucks? Seems like to me it would be. I like the 2+ archers. And there's situations where, you know what I would really like? To use this in a context of an ambush. So you bring Prophet Rosa and then you start thinking archery ambush. And there is a neutral. Go like this, go ambush. These are the rebellions and these are the ambushers. The dry bone Bodog. I think this card is probably better than the price implies. Now, let's look at it compared to, before we say that, it is 30 cents a BCX and we're talking 115, so you're talking 40 bucks, 30, 40 bucks for a max copy. And it does a good amount of damage. It's very powerful, like 3 damage at the highest levels. It's got the ambush. Now the scatter shot might annoy you in some situations. And at first I used to think I don't like this because of that. I don't know where it's going to land, but still, man, it's like a double strike on the, it gets to attack and turn around and turn 0. At 3 damage is a high amount of damage. 4 mana is really low and inexpensive for that sort of damage output, but it's not just 3, is it? It's 3 plus 2 or plus another 3 because you get attack in round 0 and then again in round 1. I rented this card recently. It's one of the cards I'm let's say considering purchasing. And for this price point, it's like I'm surprised by the price point for it being a rare. Because it is neutral also. And so it would fit within the context of what I was just saying with that Prophet Rosa, which seems to be a relatively inexpensive summoner at 70 cents a BCX. Because, you know, anything like for a summoner under $100, I don't know whether there's a lot of summoners under $100. We can look at that in a minute, because I do want to see whether these Rebellion summoners are becoming the new floor for summoners. You know, Chaos Legion is super cheap. But are the summoners here, are any of them going for what I would consider cheap compared to Chaos Legion? But yeah, Drybone could benefit from a Prophet Rosa partnership in a big way. You also have over here the ambush with the Sultry Barmaid. And to think you'd have the Drybone and the Sultry. And what's the Sultry doing? It does 3 damage at the highest levels or even at like a level 8. It's also got the stun, which is pretty clutch. Stun in an ambush phase could be really amazing. And also because it's ambush, you're going to fire in the 0 round and then again in the 1. So you potentially could stun either 2 different characters if you were to somehow delete a character in round 0, or you might miss the stun in the first round because remember it's only a 50% proc chance, and then in round 1 when you stun you get that other, you do end up stunning, which 2 chances at a stun is so much better than just the 1. And the 4 speed does give you a strong probability of landing your shot. So it's not like it's a 1 speed or this is a 1 speed. That would be a problem. You wouldn't want to just, let's say, use Prophet Rosa with the strategy I'm describing and then have neither of them hit. Well, they both have 4. This one has 5 speed and this one has 4 speed. Those are likely to hit. So right there, I think, is an example of maybe something that I haven't seen a lot of people doing anyways. I haven't seen Prophet Rosa at all. Is that something we're sleeping on? I don't know. Again, let's look at the summoners. I want to see what these are the summoner price points. I feel like these numbers have come down from about 40 cents into the 30 cent range. Maybe that's because they are less desirable, or maybe it's because people aren't recognizing the opportunity that exists with them. I don't know. 30 cents isn't exactly cheap though anyways, because you know you need 400 of them. So that's still 120 bucks, I think. 30 cents, oh, we go, I guess, times 30 times 400. 120 bucks is not a cheap summoner, is it? Well, it is, but it's not nothing. Again, I said earlier, $100 will buy you 3,300 SPS. So this is going to buy you 3,500 SPS or something like that, or maybe 4,000 even. Would you rather have Dolfork Darflak max level, or would you rather have that much SPS? I have a hard time justifying spending hundreds of dollars on cards when I know SPS is that cheap and when I believe what I believe about SPS. But you could say that over and over and over and over again until such time that these cards get out of your price range, couldn't you? And then where are you? If you like the game and you want to play the game, it makes sense to acquire some of the cards that you want to play with, and that's why I've approached Rebellion in that way. I've acquired some of these cards, and I will continue to do so because I, not on a rush-in basis, but like on a piecemeal basis, as I really start to see what I think is going to be impactful. I've already done that, and I'm going to keep doing that. But yeah, Prophet Rosa is interesting to me from that perspective alone. And there's archery only rule sets, which you would probably enjoy that at. The double buff could be good. And you know what's also good in archery only rule sets? One shield monster in the first spot when you're playing archery only rule set can be really helpful, because that if you can get a larger archer in the first spot who has close range and you slap a shield on them, and maybe you have a headwinds on your team, which is possible. You start to get this synergy where you bring down the damage from the by the headwinds, and then you compound that reduction using shield, and it can be a winner. It can absolutely transform the path to victory with those rule sets. Now that's one example, and maybe it's too niche, but I think earlier when I talked about those 2 ambush monsters and how one of them's neutral too, so that's more flexibility, it feels like this could be interesting. And we said this is 120 bucks for the cheapest of these commons, but over here with 115, this one's even cheaper. Even if, again, that data's not right, 68, if we go like this, we go buy bulk, we say we want 115, $102, that's cheaper. That's cheaper than Dullfork. It's cheaper than Chul. It's cheaper than Brewmaster. It's cheaper than Zedica. I'll buy a long shot on Zedica. It's cheaper than, actually it's not cheaper than Nomos. It's a lot cheaper than Prunda. I'm not sure, and I'd love to see in the chat, these double summoners, these double splinter summoners, to me seem amazing. Like, I would think, and I haven't used them very much, maybe at all. And so I don't really know, but it seems that it will be really, really powerful. I've seen some people use them, and I've seen it work a couple times, but it's so infrequent that I don't think there's enough data in yet. Are you guys using it? If so, do you agree that this is worth 50% more? This is 120 bucks, I think we said. This is therefore $180. Is it that much better to have blue with white than it is to have death with fire? I find that hard to believe. Again, every dollar you spend can be spent in 20 different ways. So if this costs $60 more and provides a versatility that is improved, what could $60 buy you? A lot of things. I mean, maybe another, like, pretty much a second summoner, right? Probably a very high level Dolfor, as well as, you know, a high level, recently, probably 2 level 6s of these 2, I bet, or one of this at level 8 or level 10. Yeah. Prophet Rosa is interesting to me as I think that through. In the same way, Prophet Rosa with the multiple archer buff, I would say Underboss Fabino with the double melee and maybe an ambush perspective might be a play. Let's have a look at that. Again, ambush is really one of the focus points for me because I believe that these ambush monsters, that turn 0 action is so critical. It can be really powerful with these sultry barmaid. We talked about how it has stun. You get 2 chances at a stun. A stun can change the game. If it has affliction, if it has, you know, let's see what they have. Goblano Soldier is a melee. Now that's a fire. Hang on a second. I got to remember what I'm doing here. That summoner was a green. So, oh, no, I can't use that. Okay, so there is no melee ambush on the green. What about, let's go like this. What we want to do is specifically focus in on neutral and green. And there's no, how is there no sneak monster? Is that for real right now? There's no sneak monster in the green? That can't be, that's not for real. I'm doing something wrong here. Rebellion does not have a green earth sneak monster. That is wild. That's astonishing to me. Want to take a moment and shout out Optimus Prime back there. I got him at Christmas time. Where is he? Right there. Optimus Prime leading the way. The Autobots. Right there, that's Blaster. And there's right here is like several little Lego Transformers. And also, check this out. Got to come in here. Great. I don't know if you can see it when my head moves. There's a Splinterlands fanny pack on my bookshelf. Shout out to Splinter merch. Check out Splinter merch if you want to buy Splinterlands assets, or not assets, you know, clothing, shirts, household apparel, that kind of stuff. It's not sponsored. I just know the guy who made it. William Pipkin. I've never seen Delwyn that cheap. I'm going to look at that in a second, William. What do you say? I joined during Untamed and I've been picking up some of those beta cards I constantly cursed that were just way too expensive before Modern was created. I'm absolutely doing that too, William. Even though the conversation I've been having for the last 20 minutes is like focused on the Rebellion, it's not just Rebellion. Because even with the new cards and how the leagues have changed, some of the old betas, alphas, first of all, they're being slept on price-wise because people are like, I want to play in Modern. But then second of all, they have new synergies available sometimes. And so I'm looking at that too. Dea says Parks and Recs for sure. Great show, man. Such a funny. I love Ron. Just this morning I was watching clips of Ron eating bacon, and if you guys don't know Parks and Rec, you got to check it out. He's amazing. I feel my wife says I am Ron, like meat eating, woodworking, like love manly stuff, like tough guy. At least that's what I want to be. Maybe I want to be Ron is what my wife means. Skyer, good to see you, pal. What's this? William says, Letterkenny. Yeah, Letterkenny. I never really got into Letterkenny, but some of my great friends are big time fans. And from what I've seen, it does crack me up. Another show that I missed the boat on that I find just like cracks me up when I watch it is, I'm trying to remember the name right now. You will know it. Everyone even knows it. I watch clips on YouTube all the time of it. It's an animated cartoon. It is I think it's Adult Swim. It was, oh man. It's about like a teenage boy and his family and his scientist grandpa who like travel through dimensions and get into all kinds of ridiculous stuff. How am I forgetting the name of this show right now? You guys know it. I know someone's screaming at their TV, at their monitor right now. Of course, you know. It cracks me up, man. What is it called? I could Google it right now, but I'm hoping somebody in the chat will drop it. And maybe, can I remember before you drop it? Scientist, grandpa, super jerk, alcoholic, rude, travels between dimensions with his grandson. Not Ben 10. Oh man, what is it? Okay, I'm gonna quickly. Cartoon with grandpa and grandson traveling dimensions. I can't believe this. I'm forgetting this. These animations are definitely not it. Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty, of course. Guys, Rick and Morty is one of those shows that I missed the boat on. Meaning I didn't watch it when it was out. I haven't watched every episode, but I do get YouTube clips of it, and it absolutely blows my mind. Makes me laugh out loud often. And Letterkenny is the same thing. When I've experienced it, it just cracks me up. Rick and Morty, you guys into it? Yeah, Paul knew it. JPH. Awesome show, absolutely. Great, especially the first few seasons. Yeah, I don't know, again, all of the seasons or whatever, but I will go down like a rabbit hole of YouTube shorts, and it'll be one after another Rick and Morty for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And sometimes it's like one episode and it's like 1 minute at a time. But it just is so funny. There's a lot of great shows like that, but some of it, I can't wait to enjoy some of it. And this is another thought on that, on media and movies and shows that I love, and maybe you love, when you love a show like that, I bet you're like me, you enjoy sharing it with someone. Even now we're kind of, I'm talking to you through the screen, and we're both enjoying that I love that show moment. And there's this sense of someone else gets it too. One thing as a father that's really exciting is walking through that with my kids. I don't know if you have kids. I don't know if you have, but you've felt that even if you don't, with your friends. Like you hear an amazing song, you see an amazing show, you go to your friend and what do you say? You have to watch X. And it's like, you're really saying, Like, I really enjoyed this thing, and I suspect you're going to love it too. And I actually want to see you enjoy that. I want to come watch that movie a second time, a third time with you, because I want you to go see it. I want you to read that book. I want you to hear that album, whatever it is. And my kids are getting to an age now where we're starting to walk through it. It's really cool. I'm loving it. Okay. I still want to talk more about Rebellion stuff. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. Oh, Reacher, dude. Wilson, I've been plowing through Reacher lately. It's an amazing show. If you guys can handle violence, it is quite violent. But man, that actor is great. I'm excited. The stories are well written. It's quite over the top, which might be a criticism, but I don't mind that. It's an action movie. Like, I mean, a series, but it's like got a real action movie vibe. Every episode is like 45 or 50 minutes long. I love it. Another one that I'm enjoying has been, I always enjoyed One Punch Man. It's on Netflix. If you like anime, if you like martial arts stuff, One Punch Man is amazing. At times it's so beautifully drawn, and other times it's like playful and silly. It's kind of funny. It's like not your traditional superhero a cartoon. It's like almost like a commentary on superhero cartoons. Like, you know, the good guy always wins. It's so easy. And that's actually in this movie or show a problem for the guy. So it's like, it's got layers. I like it. And season 2 just came to Netflix. That's why it's on my mind lately. But yeah, Reacher has been amazing. Phineas and Ferb, I watched that growing up. I enjoyed that one. Absolutely. Vilson's talking about Reacher. He says, if you like action, you're probably going to like Reacher. And he's right, man. It is fun. It is fun. Even my wife, who's not a big action person and definitely doesn't like too much violence, was like, still enjoyed it. Every time I turned it on, she couldn't look away. She wants to sit there and read her book, but she's like, oh, who's that guy? And what's he doing? Where did he come from again? What was his deal? Like, and we have to pause and explain the backstory. Oh, he was in episode 1 and he did this or whatever. I just started season 2 of Reacher yesterday. We ran through season 1 in a week, and there's about 8 episodes or 10 episodes, and we ran through almost a little bit of an episode a day kind of thing. But yeah, great show. Check it out, guys. Yeah, I want to check in more on Rebellion because I think there's more there. Ambush is definitely part of it. Ooh, cards like this to me. This card strikes me as really powerful. The multi-attack cards are always really powerful. You've seen it with Aggro Longtail. You've seen it with... I'm going to forget some of the names now. There's that Gladiator card on the Earth Splinter that everybody likes to play. Oh, I almost had it. It was on the tip of my tongue. It does melee as well as magic damage. Multi-attackers are powerful. And Captain Fellblade is definitely powerful. And for this to be sneak damage with the magic is huge. And for it to have 2 magic damage at level 1 makes even one of these BCX really strong. I would say this is a very strong card. Now, I haven't played with it though, so I don't have any sort of expertise or evidence for you. It just, the multi-attack for one thing. And then also the, look at the speed too, by the way, even at the medium levels, 6 speed, that's a very quick speed. This would be a great ambusher, and you could get that through a cane. So this could be a card I specifically seek out because I use a cane, the dragon summoner that allows to ambush. And if I could bring a card like this and have another different play that I might, you always want to have multiple sort of options to pick from to apply your ambush to. And this could be one of those options. If I see vulnerability on your back line, I'll use Captain Fellblade. I'll have Captain Fellblade on the table. And it's like, no, you go first, ambush style. And she's never going to miss with the 6 speed. Well, probably not, unless you have, you know, dodge and flight and whatever else, blindness, etc. But even that, the magic would land unless you had phase in the back, which seems unlikely. So strong card, I definitely want to consider that one. But trying to keep at it from the vein of like, what about these summoners? I'm not sure yet which of these I would want. Kane I own, and I you know, I feel strongly this is a good card. The price has been dipping. People either disagree with me or just aren't taking it seriously for one reason or another. The price has been coming down. Like this was closer to 32, 33. Now we're at 29, 28. And then you got high bids lower at 20, 23.6. If you can get this for 23, 24, I'd say that's very smart. You might want to use that 24 bucks in a different way, and I can respect that. But I'm saying this is an impactful card. And let's look at some data while we're on it. So current month summoners, let's refresh just in case. Splintercoach.com, check them out, guys. This is not a paid promotional comment, but I should say Jamie, the co-creator or creator of Splinter Coach, is a friend, and I think, but I truly believe this is a fun website to use, and I love being able to track the personalized battle history. So you might as well. This is the current month performance for my summoners. Look at this kitty, 52 and 24. This is a very strong card, and it always has been ever since it launched, and it probably always will be. And I'm saying if you play in wild, which I do with my main account, which is this account that we're looking at now, it makes sense to try and track down cards like this. Right now I'm just renting it. I'm spending about 300 to 400 DC a day to borrow this card. And if you look across time, like if you say 400 DC a day, 400 times 365 equals 146,000, which is $146. It'd be $146 to rent that card for the entire year. And I don't rent it every day. I rent it half of the season probably. But let's say I rented it every day, 146 bucks, and now it costs probably $1,000 to buy it. So, you know, I'm not going to rush into it, but probably one day I will buy another kitty. But that's not the point of why I wanted to talk at Splinter Coach. I want to see where my Kane is. There's a Kane with a 6-6 record. A very now lower than average play. So you might think, well, for $25 or $28 or $30 a BCX, you know, 300. So if we say $30 a BCX, you're paying 330 bucks for a max copy for a Kane. And we just showed earlier how Prophet Rosa is 100. Some of those dual Splinter summoners are 120, 160. You could get probably 2 or 3 different summoners, or, you know, if you're not playing at the highest levels, you can go a long way to spend 330 bucks in another way. So, you know, I get it. If you want to say this is not enough play and not enough utility to justify that price point. But I think part of that picture is like a lack of full understanding of how best to use it. Plus, I think some of the ambush cards that I don't have that I should have, that, you know, as I start to fill out my rebellion, this number of play will grow, as well as the impact and the rate of wins. I might be wrong, but that's my expectation. And also, when I have access to Kitty and a Kane, it's easy to say I'm going to lean on this. Right? I know how to use it. And look at these cards that Kitty partners with. These are some of my favorite cards. Some of the cards I've, you know, Nightmare is an amazing card with the phase and the 9 speed. And you bring a blind in there. Plus you bring the Snag Assassin, which also has a swiftness. Look at these 29 and 9 with Kitty, 28 and 7 with Kitty, 23 and 8 with Kitty. So there's I know how to use this already. So it's like, that's where I lean. But that doesn't mean a Kane is bad. It just means it's probably not Byzantine Kitty. But again, you know, if you had 300 bucks or if you had 100 bucks, like, it doesn't make sense. And maybe where's the path? Underboss is interesting to me because of that double melee, but obviously ambush is not possible. Sneak's not possible, which is, like I said, surprising to me. We come in here to Rebellion only, and we go green. What are we doing melee wise? Let's look at this. I really like Palace in the second spot because it brings that lookout. And that gives you a snipe protection as well as a main tank protection. 8 mana is not bad either. Endless Ape in the first spot in front of a Palace could be, you know, quite resilient if you have a tank available to you. And you could add 2 melee to each of those guys with that summoner. Where weak magic happens and your armor stops magic. Leoceros. That's a cool name, by the way. Like lion and rhinoceros. This could be. This makes me think of total sidetrack. By the way, this makes me think of The Last Airbender, where in that world, every animal is like partnered with another animal. But it's like a lion and a rhinoceros. But, you know, again, weak magic could make a card like this a strong tank in the first spot with the 7 mana, and then you slip in the Palace in the second position, and then maybe you melee buff both. But the good thing about Underboss is that flexibility. If the melee is not the right play, you come over here and drop a poison on one of your key opponents. Strong card. But again, 1.4, say call it one, let's see, you know, 115. This is a lot more expensive. Almost $200 for that. So would you rather have a $200 rare, $300 legendary, or maybe even 2 high-level common summoners? Or is the play something entirely different? From basically what I'm seeing, I'm not convinced any of these are cheap, but I am feeling like maybe Prophet Rosa is worth some attention at these price points. Jim, good to see you, buddy. One Punch is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And season 2, like I said, is on Netflix now. Vilson's into the One Punch as well. Watched it back in the day. Deus, appreciate you hanging out, and the Crosstalk guys, thanks for hanging out, guys. Jason, the Terminal List with Chris Pratt is similar to Reacher and is very good. I never watched that one either. I heard about it. Guys at my church were obviously saying it was amazing. I think it did really well. It got a lot of acclaim, I think. So I should check that out. Rooney with True Strike opportunity under a cane is straight money. Yeah, that's true. So let me think that through. You got the True Strike with the Arcane. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I haven't been doing that at all, I don't think. Let's have a peek at that. I don't think I've been doing that. Why am I not doing that? Look at this lifetime record. I started out last month using this card, and I was obviously misusing it, but this month, and I was slipping it into more circumstances than I probably have been recently. Yeah, it's not one of my choices that I've been doing. I like using the Alchemist because the Alchemist is the halving, and so it's a great tank. It's quite resilient, and then you can slap an ambush on it if your opponent's front line, like if you're sitting off head to head, and I've got Archimus the Bear in first, and you got Agor Longtail in the first spot, I can have your damage on 2 different damage attacks. That is a turn 0 attack I want to take. But then I also often bring the Chaos Dragon, and it's not working, I guess. I'm looking at some of this data for the first time. Yeah, I should think through the True Strike Rooney, because I have one. What do I do? Let me look at my Rooney data. I don't know how. I've been looking at Rooney price points lately. I've also even been thinking about selling my Rooney. Not that I don't like it, not that I think it's bad. It's just like, what price would you sell it for? Because I think everything is on the table at the right number, isn't it? Like, if we're being honest, you would sell every asset you have in Splinterlands probably for some price. I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm not saying we should desire that. I'm just saying at some number, if somebody came to you and was like, $10 billion, you'd be like, yes, please, right now, 100 million, 100,000, there's a number. I don't know how low it goes. For each of us, it's going to be different. Would you sell your Rooney for, right now, the market says $600 for an average Rooney, for like a nothing special Rooney. My Rooney is not nothing special. It's got some cool features. It's not super special either. Let's pull up my Rooney. But I definitely don't want to sell it for $600. I mean, maybe I would sell it for 1,000. So I'm already logged in. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. See my wallet. Profile deals. So here's my Rooney. It's got 3% background, 3% body, 3% head, 2% core, and 1% spear. So the spear is a bit on the rarer side. The rest is pretty average. You know, it is kind of an average Rooney. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the green a lot. I like these backgrounds that have that glow to them. Not all of them have that. I like that a lot. It was important to me. Also, the weapon looks rad, if you ask me. I think it's really, really cool. The rest looks good. It doesn't look super cool. It doesn't look kitschy. I think it looks cool. But I would be, look at this. I could sell right now for $612. I don't want to sell it for $612 bucks. But what number would I sell for? The other day, the prices were closer to $800. I don't know how long ago that was. It might have been when land was firing up and people wanted more Rooney. I strongly considered selling it at $800. I guess in hindsight, it would have made sense because I could have bought back for cheaper, but you never know that, right? You never know that. I'm not tied to this Rooney. I do want to always have a Rooney. I think it's really special. You know what I mean? But I would love to have number 12 if I could ever. Let's see. Can I look it up that way? Is that how you do it? No. Okay, like this. Number 12. Nope, just 12. Okay, there it is, number 12. I don't like the looks of it. I think the little dagger looks lame. I think the heart is kind of cool, but the cat's eye is not my favorite. The armor looks really basic. It looks like Buddy found his armor on the ground, and I've been reading Lord of the Rings again, and he reminds me of like a hobbit. Like he's got this little dagger. He looks underwhelming and unimpressive. He doesn't look tough. This guy looks tough with the cloak and everything and this cool big spear. Although I don't like that face. This one's like I was saying earlier, like kind of kitschy, like it's a little silly. I'm not sure I'm into that. So Rooney's not I don't love this art style. I don't love this card. I definitely don't want this to be my my picture in different games or whatever. I just don't care about it that way. I'm not struck by this art style. But I do hope they do it again. Because I actually like the idea of the personalized visual. Like my Rooney's my Rooney and yours looks different. I really think that's cool. And I probably one day will buy one that I think is cool. Because there are some that I think are rad. Let's quickly look up. There's a blue one I think is amazing. So these sort with these backgrounds are really, really cool in my opinion. I think there's other ones too though, like it's not just that glow vibe that I'm into. I used to have a button blue one, I think, when I first, but I sold it. Ooh, that one's nice. Ripe mango. Ooh, I like that Razzle Rose. It's like vibrant, mordant red. And then the armor is like one of the bigger pieces that can be really impressive looking. Let's just look at this screen a little. Across all those, I guess these are the ones that are on the market right now of those different. No, I can't be. I'm looking at all these various different filters, and these are the only ones I'm seeing. So I don't know why that is, but anyways. Of the ones on the screen, that armor is really sick. That face looks goofy to me. I love this armor. And the axe is pretty solid. Even this one I could get behind. 2 ETH last sale. 2 ETH. Well, $5,000 US for that for that beast. This guy's pretty rad with the background and also the yeah, I could get behind this. But yeah, that's the thing. Like I can't imagine selling my Rooney for $600 when it's absolutely a very limited number. Like, I mean, not only is it limited in the sense of there's not infinite Roonies. I forget how many total Roonies there were. But I think 3,500 Roonies? How many Roonies we got? Look at that. There's 3,500 Roonies. But then in addition to that, every Rooney is unique. To me, that's important. To me, that matters. To me, I think that from an investment perspective, I think that makes it unique and special and worth holding on to, even if I don't personally find the art style super impressive or really cool. This is another kind that I really love. Like these rays are rad. This one is interesting to me. Yep, definitely. But I'm not going shopping for Rooney anytime soon. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so I can check Rooney's record under a cane. So go to, let me see this. Go to Rooney under summoner, then filter. Oh, okay. Let's do that. Back up. Let me go to, I'm going to read that one more time. Go to Rooney and then under summoner, filter arcane. Okay. So monsters. Oh, okay. So I was there already. So what I'm going to do, monster, and I'm going to find Rooney, click on Rooney, and then I'm going to filter under summoners. Where are you at? I probably haven't done it. I've only played 30 battles. There it is. Yeah, I've only done it one time. This is the thing. I need more data. I need more opportunity to play these things together. And as I hear from people like yourself, anecdotally, you know, these different opportunities, maybe I could put them to work and find those sorts of, you know what I mean? Start to put it to work in my own play style. And after we get to a place where all those sorts of observations have been made and those, you know, new approaches to playing have been implemented, that's when the prices will be stable. Like at this moment in time, you understand, everyone who's been here for a year understands how Chaos Legion works. You know which cards are really powerful and how to use them together. There's not a lot of innovation happening around Chaos Legion at this moment, except to the extent that new synergies have been created with Rebellion or with new promo cards. Those require new thinking. But there's a moment in time where the pot gets stirred when there's a new release of cards. 90 new cards change the meta in a big way. They change how old cards work. They change how you need to think through your approach to the game. It's like a lot of stuff gets thrown up in the air and you got to figure it out. And that moment of uncertainty is a moment of opportunity for those who can be thoughtful and critical, etc. Jim's got his gold foil Lux on the market, or at least he's marketing it. Gold foil Lux would be, I mean, Lux is a great card, and one day I'll have that again as well, but you guys know I sold it. Not that it's a bad card. It's a great card, but I don't need it. And the price point made sense. It was over $1,000 back in the time. I think it's now $400 for a max, you know, a regular foil. Leandro Cardosa, what method would you use to sell your SPS and get the money into your bank account now that Binance doesn't work in Canada? You know, this is a great question. And I actually need to think through this pretty quick here. Because okay, I think I can answer your question. I want to say like a week ago, I had a nightmare and it woke me up in the middle of the night. And the dream was something like my crypto had gone to the moon, like 50x, 100x, whatever it was in the dream. I don't remember. Life-changing wealth. And I had no idea how to realize it. And I knew in the dream that tops don't last forever. and you got to take action. You got to sell while you can, and you got to sell into the buying pressure, and you got to, you've reached your targets, so move, like make it happen now. Don't sit there waiting and thinking like maybe it's going to go higher. Like make your plans and exit. And I had no idea in the dream how to do that. And I just, the price went way up and it fell down dramatically. And I was like, oh, how do I sell it? I gotta sell it. And I was freaking out. And I woke up and I was like, I need to think this through. I need to have my plan, because I haven't really checked with Binance forever. I know that they closed things, and so I haven't confirmed for myself that door was closed. I was pretty sure you're right that it's no longer viable, and I'm not going to open it here now with you guys live, but I think you're right. And so I know Coinbase is still available, and Coinbase can put money in your PayPal. And this is currently my path. So you can link your PayPal to your Coinbase. You can link your bank account to your Coinbase. And there are other websites that will do the same thing. At least there used to be. In Canada, I used to use Coinberry. I don't know if they're still kicking it. I suspect they are. Let's have a quick look. Coinberry. And so they had a path to doing the same thing, putting money in your bank. Now there's a whole song and dance involved in doing that. So if you are thinking about preparing for that moment, maybe it's days, weeks, or months away, where your crypto bags reach a place where you want to put some money in the bank. First of all, that's smart. Get ready for it. It's not just something you just go and click a button and it's done. There's a whole process. Understand the process. Find which website which exchange you can use and want to use and know how to use. Set up an account, confirm, get your two-factor all going so you feel safe and secure with that website. And then, of course, take the time to, in advance, link your bank account. It takes time. It doesn't happen instantly. You need to, there's usually, they're going to send you a transaction, like a 10-cent transaction, 11-cent transaction, some random amount of money. They'll put it in your bank account. And then you need to confirm the price that they sent you, the number they sent you. And the reason that is they're trying to confirm that you actually have access to view that bank account, access to enter and manage that bank account. And then that can be cumbersome, difficult. I've had times where it doesn't work. You got to try again. If you are panicking to liquidate in a moment where your coin has reached a new high and you are trying to figure that out for the first time, you are going to have a bad day. And as I've been looking at the crypto market lately, there's a lot of green candles today. 13%, 10%, 10%. These are some pretty decent bumps. And I think bigger numbers are yet to come. 50, 100% on some of these things across a week. Even if we look at, let's look at coin market cap, and you start to look at this, the 7-day average, 55% on, I don't know about that one. That's a level 90 coin. Okay. Ethereum Classic, 43% on the week. These are all top 100 coins, and they're up dozens of percent this week. Now, I don't mess around with most of these coins. I'm not endorsing them. I'm just saying multiple, like green candles are getting bigger. The altcoins are going to have their moment, and you need to be prepared. So yeah, Coinbase works for that. You can exit into PayPal. You can exit into your bank, but you got to take that time to set it up and make sure that you got your two-factor and all your security measures in place. You don't want to have some sort of thing happen. Plus, one last tip, I would say, I keep all of my crypto, you want to keep your crypto offline, right? And then when it's time to make the move, you put it online for the period of time in order to pull that trigger, to do that trade. That's my advice. Thanks for the comment. Jason says on Hive Engine, sell the SPS for Hive and then Hive to LTC and then move LTC to an exchange and then you can exit. Yeah, this is it. I guess I didn't clarify that because I thought that part was obvious, but I should clarify. So with Hive Engine, you actually don't need to go even to Hive. You can go in here, go into swap, and you click on, let's say you've got SPS. You bring SPS in here, and you go swap and you trade SPS. Let's say you want to trade 1,000 SPS, $30 value, just shy of. And you come in here and you want to trade it. You can do Hive, Peg. Swap Hive, which is Hive Peg. Or you can just go straight down to LTC, swap LTC. And so right there, I have a path from SPS straight into LTC, or Ethereum, by the way. ETH peg. But LTC is going to move quicker and have lower fees, so that is the best play. So he's right. You do it like that, and then you just go swap, and then confirm the transaction if you wanted to do that. And then you've got LTC peg or swap LTC in your Hive wallet, and then you can immediately send that out. It's like a withdrawal process, and you would click on your LTC that I don't have, right? You're going to withdraw the LTC, and you're going to send, whatever to whatever account. And in my case, I'm talking about sending that to Coinbase. And so that I could turn that SPS into LTC, and that LTC into USD or Canadian currency. That's the path. But again, tons of setup involved. Do not wait till the day of. Don't postpone it, guys. Like I can't, the number of friends I have who still have resources in Binance. Like they're like, I'll figure it out later. What do you mean you'll figure it out later? You might be losing a fortune. Like leaving your crypto on an exchange is a terrible idea. And then also, especially, for years and years and years, leaving it there. And then when your friend who knows crypto says to you, they're closing that account down, like, don't you want to action that? And it's like, oh, I'll deal with it later. It's like, what are you doing? You got to pay attention to this stuff, guys. You got to open it up. You got to make sure you understand. You got to make sure you're prepared. You got a path, you got an exit plan, and then that way you can action the win when the win happens, right? Otherwise, you're going to miss it. Guys, I got 18 viewers, 13 likes. If you're enjoying the content, drop the like. Appreciate you. I'm going to wrap up pretty quick here. I'm starting to get hungry. It's lunchtime for me. But if there are any lingering questions, I'm happy to get into it. Jason Jenkins, if LTC liquidity is good, it's fine. Again, with the Hive engine, usually the swap fees or not, the swap slippage is like minimal. I don't have any significant Hive to pull the trigger and show you, but you can check, right? Like you use the swap and then you just do what I showed you. And it'll tell you right at the bottom, go LTC, and it'll say max slippage. You can set the max slippage, but I wouldn't mess with this. I would just watch this. So like if I go like this and I say I want to sell 1,000 SPS for LTC, it tells me that the SPS is today worth $29.96. And then what's it saying I'm going to get from an LTC perspective? Well, it's saying you're going to lose a little because of the slippage. We're talking 20 cents. We're talking 19 cents slippage. Not a big deal. Now, this is a small purchase. If you wanted to do 100,000 or a million SPS, let's say 100,000. You wanted to do 100,000 SPS, $3,000 worth of SPS. I bet there's a bigger slippage on this. Let's see. Look at that. So that's 29. That's $3,000 for 100,000 SPS, and I'm only getting. What? Why is that a bigger value? What's going on here? Estimated value $5,000 for. I'm able to get $5,000 worth of LTC if I have $3,000 worth of SPS. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, the slippage on 10,000 SPS is $4. For $300, that I probably would eat that loss. I'd probably be okay with that. But you got to make that decision for yourself, and and then again, you can look at the ETH too if you want, and you might find that that's better. ETH peg. So this again is, let's say you want to send 10,000, that's $300. It's about the almost exact same. So the LTC would be better than the Ethereum because the slippage is about the same, but the LTC is going to have lower fees, it's going to move quicker, etc. So there you go. Tinker with that and make your plan. Ransom same loan. I wish we had some stable on Hive. USDC would be nice. Yeah, that would be cool. I think it's going to be fine though, unless you're talking literally like 6-figure SPS or 7-figure SPS. If you're selling 1 million SPS, yeah, you're going to need to do that in stages. You might need to move in some into LTC and Ethereum, etc. And maybe, yeah, even Hive, and then find a path for Hive, etc. You can also, if you can get it into, I think if you get it into SPS, then you can send it to other liquidity pools too, can't you? I think. I don't mess around with liquidity pools very often. This is worth noting. I don't know what AVAX token is, but if S hits the fan and you can't get it back to cash in your bank, you could buy AVAX token and then on Avalanche Network trade AVAX for USDC. That's really helpful, Jason. Thank you for mentioning that. Or just bridge a sold or just a soul bridge. Yeah, it's really good to know these options, guys. If you're listening to this and you think, I don't understand what they're saying, but I'll figure that out later, kill that today. Take 15 minutes today and watch a YouTube video on how can I cash out SPS or how can I cash out. Well, that probably won't pop up because there's not enough video content around that. But you can say, how can I cash out to Coinbase if that's your favorite exchange? Or how can I cash out to, using Soulbridge or AVAX to USDC? There probably will be a video on that, and you can watch a 10-minute video today and get your head wrapped around what you would do, because these moments are going to come for you in a time when you're not ready, and you're going to watch. I've seen tokens go from 40 cents to $4 and back down to $3 before you can blink. And that you think, well, still it went from 40 cents to $3. Yeah, that's awesome. But a 10x is a lot better than a 7x. Like, life-changing wealth might be on the line here for you. Get this straight, figure it out. Do it today. Gathering, good to see you, bud. Thanks for popping by. Can't you put in stables and buy yourself some time? Yeah, I guess you can. Again, it depends on the stables available to you and the exchanges you have access to. Gathering, just got back from town, got a couple days off, big snowstorm on the way. Dude, even here, big snowstorm on the way. We've got minus 14 degrees Celsius tonight, all night. For us, that's crazy. Like minus 2 degrees Celsius is usually like cold. 14 is like, and it's beautiful blue skies at the same time. If we get precipitation, it's going to be a massive snowstorm. We'll be home playing Splinterlands. I'm hitting bronze really hard, Gathering. I've been watching your videos. You got me excited. So I'm playing. I've got my main account, Infidel 1258. I'm playing at Champion. Here, I'll show you guys where that's at while we're talking about it. I'm in Wild, and I am using Xbot with this one. And I'm playing crazy tournaments. So that's how I'm using Xbot to play Infidel on the rank. But then I'm using Infidel to play tons of tournaments. And I every day, probably 30 new battles with tournaments. So I'm very active personally, but therefore I'm letting the bot carry some of that weight because I can't do all of it. In addition to that, I'm also playing, and look, I got 53 chests on the season. Maybe we'll end up with 60 or 65 by the end of the season. I spent about 10,000 DEC on rentals this season, and I've made about 400 SPS on this in this season with tournaments. So I'll log out. That's not the only way I'm playing this game right now. I'm also playing 1258. I was doing tournaments over here as well, and this is more of a gold diamond account, and this is earning. Look at that, 39 chests, bam! But then also, I'm now restarting up E.E. Cunningham. This is an old account that I haven't messed with forever, but I'm gonna fully commit. It's gonna take me time to get back up and running, but I sent over what I needed to get this thing going. I sent 10,000 SPS. I have 25,000 SPS on 1258. I have 220,000 SPS, I think, on Infidel. And I'm gonna try and sell some of the Infidel SPS at certain higher price points. But I'm always gonna have 3 now. I think I'm moving forward. I'm gonna have 3 strong accounts. One of them will be probably 2 gold league accounts and one of the champion. Plus I'll run tournaments. I'm playing more than ever. This game has grabbed more of my attention today than it ever has. And look, I was climbing out of a novice today. I just went through yesterday and spent about an hour sending this thing delegated cards that I delegated to me that that will help carry me out. But as you can see, they're not perfect. We're talking like low level cards because I'm in novice bronze. Once I get into silver, I'll reassess, tweak the delegations, make it even be better. I'll try and carry this in modern if I can in the gold range. I know gold league's paying good SPS in modern, and I think I can probably play in that realm, silver or gold in the modern. And then as I get more rebellions, I'd love to see this be my main modern account, DE Cunningham, because this thing has crazy, check this out, 271,000 legendary potions. So that's amazing. I want to put those to work. I want to, I want to enjoy those with some of the packs that I'm going to be opening, and even the loot chests I'm going to be able to enjoy on this account. So I'm playing more than ever, and Splinterlands has got my attention in a big way. Nice. Wilson's talking 6 figs. That's great, man. For small amounts of, I do LTC as well. You can do same thing he mentioned on Soul Chain, swap to, yeah. Yeah, so there's lots of options. Let's see, what are you saying here? Gathering says, going to upload part 2 of my Bronze Wild shopping list later, Untamed cards. That'll be fun. Guys, check it out later. Gathering the Magic does great low-level Splinterlands content. Plus, he had a funny intro the other day where he was, I don't know if you're teasing After Sound. You're like, I don't stream live on Tuesday, Thursday, or Sundays. But you can hang out and say hello. I need to check out tournaments for my $10 account. Good way to build up the SPS bag. Absolutely. There are some bronze level tourneys that can be really affordable. If bull comes, will the ETH 2.0 in terms of gas? Will it be ETH 2.0 in terms of gas? I don't know I don't mess with ETH enough to answer that question. I see you're talking to Jason, but I don't know. I told bags. Nice. 155k SPS is a good number, man. Like that's you're in that ballpark where I'm at. Like right now I've got 123,000 of liquid SPS, and I'm like, this is for sale in my mind. I'm not going to list it for 3 cents, but I do think we in the next days or weeks could see a real significant price bump. And I would love to move this into a big chunk of DEC because I want to buy more cards. And then I also would love to move into some of these liquidity pools, because if what I'm saying happens, if I think if SPS makes it to 10 cents, that's a 3x from where it's at. These pools are going to 3x their APRs. DEC, USDC going to a 75% APR. And I would love to then hold, $1,000 or $2,000 or even $10,000 and in this liquidity pool. That might sound crazy to some of you, but I'm okay with holding DEC and USDC for probably the next 6 months or something like that. And I would love to enjoy some of these APRs. And I think those APRs are going to go higher and higher, because I don't think 10 cents is going to be the cap for SPS. I think SPS is going to probably get 50 cents or, maybe even $1. And if that happens, these APRs go wild. And if that happens, the liquidity goes up, and that means more burning of SPS, which helps the price of SPS goes up, which helps the APR go up, so there's going to be fireworks in here, which I would like to participate in. And so I am personally going to be looking to those options in the future here. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap there, guys. My throat's starting to feel tired. I'll answer Harry Larry McNary. I appreciate you, pal. Thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for the comment. Guys, this will be the last one for now. If you're enjoying the content, remember, drop that like. It's the best way to help the channel. So Harry goes, Wayne, love your stuff. Thank you. Please, how do we get new players in? I really feel if we get them in, they'll be hooked, but how? This is the key question for a game for Splinterlands, right? It's the reason, it's the question mark or the barrier, the hurdle that if we can overcome, this thing turns from, you know, a niche financial opportunity and a piece of entertainment into maybe life-changing opportunity. Because if we go from what is maybe 5 or 10,000 human players to 50 or 100,000 human players, the multipliers on the assets will be insane. And I think you can add a zero to that. Like a game that can change your life financially, that is also entertaining, should be easy to sell. And it should be the place where more and more and more people hear about it, and more people chase after it, and more people come to it. But I honestly believe that the secret sauce to getting us there is also the biggest barrier to getting us there. What do I mean? The barrier to new players coming to this game is the complicated nature of cryptocurrency and the difficulty in understanding how blockchain itself, in how do I onboard and access these tokens? How do I deal with custody and storage and, you know, private and public keys and, you know, Hive keychain and what do you mean it's on the blockchain? It's like, I just want to play a card game. And that impediment to a ton of players, probably, it's not just an impediment technologically either. It's an impediment because there's a black eye to cryptocurrency. Even just yesterday, only yesterday does the Bitcoin ETF ever pass, like the first of its kind, right? And it's a spot ETF, and that's a big deal. But even that barely passed. There is still, even with Bitcoin, which is the leader of this marketplace and blockchain itself, is still thought of as niche, as dangerous as, you know, the SEC in their attempt to protect the public are holding them back from things like this and discouraging involvement and participation in things like this. I'm talking about Bitcoin, but I'm also talking about blockchain-based video games. And this black eye that this cryptocurrency space has, because of the non-understanding and actually the malicious intent of some of the third parties that stand in the way, is a major impediment to a large audience coming towards Splinterlands. But also that impediment, that barrier, that difficulty, that niche element is the secret sauce to why Splinterlands is so cool, so powerful, so impressive, so exciting, because not everybody has heard about it. Not everybody gets it. And as they begin to get it, as they begin to open their eyes to the possibility of receiving real financial reward for your time and effort in a video game, that's going to be a revolution. It's going to multiply in a massive way. And it is starting slow, and it's nowhere near that sort of crazy blow up moment. But there's two things that could propagate new player adoption. And one is people recognizing that opportunity I just mentioned, and thereby overcoming their concerns or around what it would mean to be involved in blockchain. That just like the appetite for it could grow. I think you can't control that. You can keep talking about it. You can keep showing it. You can drop likes on videos like this. You can go support your local content creator. You can retweet, you can re-steam, you can, you know, there's different things you can do to spread the conversation. And that's going to slowly work. But the bigger issue that's beyond our control, and that's probably the most to the point answer to your question, how are we going to grow player base? How do we get new players? How do we get them hooked? How do we get them exposed even? It's going to be through what I alluded to before you commented, which is around things like SPS mooning, cards mooning. How is that going to happen? And why would that propagate new players? Well, it's going to happen because cryptocurrency is volatile. It has massive gains and moments of long-term prolonged bear market, but then short-lived massive gains. And I think a moment like that might be coming for Splinterlands and for SPS in the near future. I say that very cautiously because I don't want you guys aping into something stupid. But to me, I believe I speak out of a place of confidence for me and my money and my plan, not to give advice, but to talk about what I'm doing and why. And If I'm right about SPS going to 10 cents, to 30 cents, to 50 cents, to $1, the opportunity that would grow financially from this game. I spoke at the beginning of this live that I made 340 SPS in the last 10 days playing tournaments. And you think, who cares? 300 SPS, 3 cents in SPS. It's only 90 cents. That might not matter to you and me, but it matters to people who $1 a day matters to. And then if we start to say not 3 cents in SPS, but 10 cents in SPS, 30 bucks a day, or 30 bucks, that's 30 bucks across 10 days is 30 bucks $3 a day. Now we're starting to get somewhere. 10 cents, that's 10 cent SPS. That's just tournament gains. But remember, there's also rank gains. There's also APR from staking your SPS. There's also, card flipping and whatever. So the path to true player growth is absolutely going to be through the excitement and the bull market moment. One last point on this. Just today, I saw a comment on my channel. Someone was looking at one of my old videos. It was Hewitt, and I commented on it already, so it's going to be gone. No, it's right here. Hewitt, who has commented on the channel a lot. He's been with the channel a lot. But he made a bit of a snarky comment about this old video where I was talking about reward cards and how they were cheap. And it's old reward cards that were not soul bound and the price points around those. And they were in the video. If you watch it, you'll see that the price point on those videos is 10 or 20 times what they are now. And so he's making a comment that, look, they're so much more expensive then than they are now. They weren't cheap then, is his point. And I go, okay, but you're looking at a video within a moment of time where there was a crazy bull market happening. And I'm saying, and I've always said, that cryptocurrency and bull markets are cyclical, and Splinterlands will enjoy that again. And there will be that influx of player base chasing after those gains. Now, I don't want them to come then. They're going to lose money because they're going to make the mistake that some of you made the last bull market. They come ape in when everything's at its highest. And then they watch and they slowly bleed out and they slowly bleed out. But if you're still here now, you, I believe, and I believe, will enjoy that next bull market. And I believe we can add zeros to some of these things. I think you're going to start to see multiplications that are for the first time for you being realized. And that's why it was so important earlier we talk about how do you get value out, because there is something that could happen here that could be meaningful to you. If we go from a player base of 5,000 to 500,000 people, and I mean, again, players, not accounts. We had 1 million accounts. We had 500,000 daily active accounts. But I think we can see bigger numbers than even that. In fact, I feel confident about it. And that will be this really crazy series of 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks, maybe. It will not last forever because most of those players aren't going to come because they like the game. They're going to come because they're chasing gains. And my answer to your question, Harry, is absolutely that FOMO is going to drive new adoption, new player base. But unfortunately, 9 out of 10 of those people are going to leave when the gains are gone because they don't really even want to play a game. They just want to chase gains. But I do think we see growth in player base in that moment. I do think we see multiplications on the price points of certain cards in that moment, in SPS in that moment. I think there's opportunity for us in that moment. And it's going to take this ebb and flow, this wax and wane, this gain and fall across multiple bear markets to really see the adoption grow. It's going to take the more and more, the slow and steady accumulation of people recognizing what Splinterlands could be and how the trivial daily rewards matter across time, so that some of them overcome the difficulty and the black eye that crypto walks in so that they can get here. Those will be the lucky ones, the ones that come of their own volition and recognize it before there are gains. The unlucky ones will come racing in when the candles have been green for 100%, 200%. SPS is at 50 cents and they're chasing after, look at what I can get with Splinterlands and look how much money I'm making in Splinterlands. It's like, okay, but are you ready for the bear market? You guys have seen that, you survived that. And I think if you're prepared for that up and down, you'll do better. But we can't, I don't think we can focus. I don't think there's any one way except for outside of constant education toward the community. Sharing our joy with this game, selling it from a perspective of both fun and rewarding, but then simultaneously just waiting on the bull market itself to be the best advertising that you're ever going to see. And no, it won't be the case that all of those people come and then stay. Tons will come and play and then leave because they're chasing not a game, but gains. That's just the nature of how this works. But this blockchain revolution won't be stopped by their coming and going. It won't even be slowed down by. It's like, this is just I think the routine and the norm for what a crypto blockchain-based video game will do. There's always going to be these massive gains and prolonged lulls. Splinterlands has survived that, weathered that storm before and again. And I think it's going to come one more time, but that means gains come again too. So that's the future, that's the path, and that's the, I guess, maybe the difficulty we're facing and the path to overcome it. I think it's going to take still years to come, but I mean, Splinterlands could do this. I don't see why Splinterlands can't exist and keep doing what it's doing for 20 more years and beyond. Like even saying 5 years feels like that's forever. But apart from, like, the only impediment to that failing would really be, in my mind, the company running out of money. And truly, if we make it to another bull market, which I think is probably sooner than later, I think we find that money. And I don't know that if this one didn't kill us, I don't know how we lose in the next one. Do you know what I mean? SPS, the amount of token valuation that's in the DAO right now, it's like, I forget how many million, several $1 million. That will grow massively during a bull market. The accounts of the developers and the game will grow massively. The sustainability for the next bear market, which will eventually come, will be more ready, more resilient, will be more prepared next time than we were this time. So I feel like our successes are growing and our victories are slowly accumulating. And I think we are going to keep being adopted. It's just going to take time, and it's not going to happen in days or weeks. It's going to be multiple years. But that means that's good news for you and me, because it actually means the opportunity isn't yet gone. If everyone was playing this thing, the opportunity is already gone, because almost no one still is. It's that the outsized returns are available to you and me, who've been stacking soulbound cards, earning free SPS, playing in tournaments for free, and getting, amazing rewards, accumulating merits and gladiator cards that can set you apart and distinguish your ability to win more often. The opportunity is now. And so just maybe focus on that. And just watch how your desire to see more come will just incidentally happen, both as the economy booms, but also as the game just lingers, and it will keep lingering. There's no reason why it won't. So that's my view anyways. That's the confidence I'm walking in. I don't say that out of a place of advice. I say it out of just to unpack my confidence and my expectations for the future adoption of Splinterlands. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for your time and attention. I hope you have an amazing day. God bless.